Hello, everyone. So today, I'm filming this on Tuesday, recording this on Tuesday. Um, you have no lesson for Wednesday. However, my video today, right now, is going to be talking about your NWEA, how to get to it, and your actual lesson for Thursday. So I'm going to post this today on Tuesday. If you want to watch it for Thursday, practice, get it out of the way so you don't have to worry about anything but prep works for the rest of the week till Sunday. That would be my best suggestion for you. So first things first, let's talk about the NWEA. Guys, it's very simple. In your folders, for me, I don't know if you're any of your teachers put it in a folder, they just put a link or they sent an email, I don't know. But for me, I posted it in a folder. The only thing you need to focus on is this one right here, the installation guide. If you want to watch the PowerPoint or look at the PowerPoint, you can. These two are in Spanish, but this one, click on it, and it will take you to this document. The most important thing you need on this document is this link right here. So I press Control, click, ta-da, takes you here. Now, this may not come up for you, so you may see this screen, and your pop-up blocker may be disabling what we want to happen, which is this. So just make sure if you're on Chrome, it'll come up here. I'm sure any other browser, it'll come up here too. You just have to click and enable the pop-ups from this website and then refresh, or just go back and try again, and you will come. It'll open in another window, so you should have two windows. And then your teacher will give you the session name, the session password, and then you'll get started exactly like you would during class. So that's it. When you're done, you don't have to worry about telling us the score. You close it, you move on, unless they want you to tell you, but we can see the score on our end. So when you're done, you can exit. You don't even have to tell us you finished. Just go and we can see that you did it. We can also see that you didn't do it. So please make sure everyone logs in tomorrow. Make sure everyone logs in on Friday. And then next week you have your science. Okay, so that's it. Let's get into the video. So I'm going to focus today on the irrational solution. So I'm going to do one example for you, number 9. Sorry. So I'm going to do one example, number 9. Same exact thing as before, except we're going to have an irrational solution. I wrote these couple of notes right here. If you want to take those down, this is our formula just to have handy next to us so while we're doing this problem. All right, first thing we need to do, label A, B, and C. Then we're going to plug it in. So negative B plus or minus the square root of B squared minus 4 times A times C. This is all over to, oops, A is 1, hello, 2A, 2 times 1. All right, so now we're going to simplify. We know that this becomes negative 4 plus or minus the square root of 16 minus 4, because 4 times 1 is just 4. All over 2. That simplifies to negative 4 plus or minus the square root of 12 over 2. Now, what do you know about this radical? Can it be simplified or can it not be simplified? In this case, it can be, so we have to simplify it. We're going to do our little thought bubble here. Don't have a lot of room, but we're going to simplify it. So think about factors of 12. I know it's going to be the square root of 4 times the square root of 3, which equals 2 radical 3. Okay, so that's what's in place of this square root of 12. So we're going to bring it down one more time. Negative 4 plus or minus 2 radical 3 over 2. Now, for all intents and purposes, this is your answer. However, you need to simplify this if you can. How do you know if you can simplify? Well, this number, and this number all share a factor. If that's true, then you're able to simplify. So does negative 4, 2, and 2 all share a common factor? Yes, of 2. So we're going to simplify this into x equals negative 4 divided by 2 is negative 2 plus or minus, and then this is how we cancel. We look at these. Don't touch what's in the radical, just the outside. 2 divided by 2 is 1, so all that leaves us with is this. So here, even though this looks like we only wrote it once, these are our two answers. We have -2 plus radical 3 and -2 minus radical 3. So this plus or minus means literally two answers. Plus, minus equals two answers. Okay? So that's it. When you simplify, you realize that these factors all share something that you can kind of take out, aka a greatest common factor, and we're going to go from there. So that's when you simplify. If this one isn't there, technically we wouldn't simplify, we just kind of leave it in a fraction. But you can do it both ways. So when we get to one like that, I'll show you what I mean. All right, so that's the example. It's what we're going to go into on homework 10. I'm going to go start on number 7. The reasoning behind me doing the homework with you is because I didn't give you the answer key for the homework. I gave you the answer key for the lesson. So when we're done here, I want you to complete numbers 10 through 14. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 problems. I want to see if you can get them correct by checking the answer key. All right, number 7, A. Oh, we can't do that yet. Why? Because it's not simplified, or it's not in standard form. So I'm going to add 2x. I'm going to move -3. This really becomes x squared. I don't like leaving on the desk. X squared plus 4x minus 3 equals 0. So our A is 1, our B is 4, our C is -3. Okay? Let's go on. So -b plus or... Guys, my brain is not working today. -4, because hello, B is 4, plus or minus the square root of 4 squared minus 4 times A times C, all over 2 times A. We're going to simplify that, and that's going to become -4 plus or minus the square root of 16. Is this going to be positive or negative? Positive plus 12, all over 2. Okay, so 16 plus 12. Now we're going to simplify this. We get -4 plus or minus the square root. 16 plus 12 is 28. We know that that's not a perfect square, so we're going to need to simplify. I'm going to go on the right because we have a little more room on the homework page. And we've got the square root of 28 breaks down into the square root of 4 times the square root of 7, which is 2 radical 7. Okay, that's what we're going to do here. So -4 plus or minus 2 radical 7 divided by 2. Now, is this simplified? We're going to do x equals. The answer is no, because this number, and this number all share a factor of 2. So what you're going to do is you're going to divide that out. You're going to simplify, and it's going to be x equals -4 divided by 2 is -2 plus or minus 2 over 2 is just 1, so this leaves you with just radical 7. All right? That's it. Let's go number 8. Pause it if you need to go back and look. So A, -1, B is 7, C is -18. Okay, let's put it together. -7 plus or minus the square root of 7 squared minus 4 times -1 times -18. I see 3 negatives, so I know it's going to be a negative underneath the radical. All right, let's simplify. I didn't have enough room here. Maybe we do. -7 plus or minus the square root of 49 minus, what's 18 times 4? 18 times 4 is 72. So 49 minus 72 over -2. Let's simplify one more time. -7 plus or minus the square root Now 49 minus 72 is negative 23. Now we're going to stop here and talk for a second. Can I take the square root of a negative number? You should be saying no. For this reason, there is no solution. Okay, you cannot take square root of a negative number. This is no solution. Here's your answer. So no solution in a quadratic, again, means, let's think about the graph for a second. No solution in a quadratic means this will be opening down below, down below the x-axis. There's going to be no solution, meaning there's nowhere where this parabola touches the x-axis, right? Number 9, we're going to subtract 3 first to get this in standard form equal to 0. So we get 2x squared minus 8x minus 5 equals 0. A is 2, B is negative 8, C is negative 5. So negative, negative. Can we graduate to the fact that we know a negative, negative is a positive? Yes, but I'm still going to write it. So negative, negative 8 plus or minus the square root of B squared minus 4 times A times C. Someone's in trouble. Do you hear the sirens? My gosh. All right, this becomes 8 plus or minus the square root of 64 plus, because negative times negative, so this becomes 8 times 5, which is 40, all over 4. All right, so 8 plus or minus the square root of 64 plus 40 is 104, all over 4. So now we're going to do our little thinky thing. Square root of 104 can simplify to what? Okay, guys, remember what we have to do here. Let's divide 104 by our perfect squares. Okay, we have 104 times divided by 4 is 26. So if we get the square root of 4 and 26, I think that works, right? Let's try one more time. It's not going to be 9. It's not going to be 16. It's not going to be 25. I know that already. And it's not going to be 36. And that gives us 2. It's not going to be 49. And it's not going to be 64. So yes, it's going to be 2. So the square root of 4 and the square root of 23. Okay, this gives us 2 radical 23. All right, so 8 plus or minus 2 radical 23 over 4. And again, do these numbers share a common factor? Why, they do. However, this one is not going to end up out of a fraction like this one did, because we're still going to have one, because this number is smaller than the denominator. So x equals 8 divided by 4, or simplify everything by 2. We're going to divide by 2. Okay, this is the technically most accepted answer. However, I'll show you what's also an acceptable answer. 4 plus or minus radical 23 over 2. This is what you'll see on the answer key for number 9. Oops, I put 23. It's 26. Yikes. Sorry. Where am I? It's 26. Christian, I know you saw that. I have written 23 in more places. Okay, so that's what you'll see on the answer key. However, if you wanted to write it simplifying here, you would get 2 plus or minus, and then you would get radical 26 over 2. No one really likes that way, because it's like, well, just keep everything in a fraction. Either keep it in or keep it out. So, because this is like a half and half kind of thing. This is out of one, this is in one, just keep it all in one fraction. But if you wondered, if you're questioning, well, why can't we just do 8 divided by 4? It's okay, it's just not really the best way to write this solution. Does that make sense? So while this is correct, this is the best way to write it. All right, number 10, we're going to subtract 5. We get 10x squared minus 24 equals 0. A is 10, B is 0, C is negative 24. How many solutions do you think this is going to have? I don't know, let's see. So negative B, B is 0, so just 0 plus or minus the square root of 0 squared minus 4 times A times C. Let's see, negative 24. All over 2A, so 2 times 10. If we simplify here, we get 0 plus or minus the square root of basically 4 times 10, which is 40, times 24, or 240 times 4. So 240 times 4 is 960. Is it going to be positive or negative? This says 0 plus 40 times 24. Just makes sense. One more time. 960 all over 20. So we've got 0. Can I just stop writing 0 plus or minus? No. I'm going to keep writing it so I remind myself that that whole plus or minus does not go away, because that tells us that our answer is both positive and negative. So I'm going to write 0 plus or minus the square root of 960 divided by 20. Now, we got to think about how to simplify 960. This is not going to be fun. All right, 960 divided by, I don't know, 169. Stupid. Divided by 36. No. Divided by, well, let's go in order, right? 4. 4 and 240, we know 240 is big, that it has more in it. So what's our list of perfect squares? What's 20 times 20 is 400. It's not going to be 400. What is 441? What should we do, guys? 960 divided by, no, not 100, 121, no, 144, no, I did 169, that was 13, 14, what's 14 squared? 196. No. So is our best option 64 and 15? Yes. Okay. So how do I know that I found it? Because this number does not have any perfect square factors in it. Okay. So the square root of 960, I'm going to simplify to the square root of 64 and the square root of 15, which becomes 8 radical 15. I was struggling for a second there. Okay, so 0 plus or minus 8 radical 15 over 20. Now, 0 is obviously not going to be simplified, so we can leave this as just kind of nothing. So what we're focusing on is simplifying this. They both share a factor of 4, so we're going to simplify by 4. So x equals positive negative 2 radical 15 over 5. I didn't sound too sure about that, right? But it's correct. See, your teacher does remember math. All right, so this one was a little tricky with the 0. Now, I know not a lot of you are going to want to write that 0, but it's imperative that you write the plus or minus the whole way. I don't care about the 0. as long as you carry this plus or minus, because that's clearly a part of the answer. Okay, last two. So we're going to subtract 6x over here. We get 4x squared minus 6x minus 1 equals 0. A equals 4, B equals negative 6, C equals negative 1. So negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4 times 4 times negative 1, all over 2 times 4. Okay, that's going to equal 6 plus or minus the square root of 36 plus, because negative times negative, 16 over 8. Okay, bring that down. So 6 plus or minus the square root. 36 plus 16 is going to be 52 over 8. Take our little 52. We're going to make sure we do this right. 52 divided by 4 is 13. There we go. So square root of 4 times the square root of 13, which equals 2 radical 13. Okay, so 6 plus or minus 2 radical 13 over 8. Now, do they all have a shared factor? Let me highlight this one. This one was just 8 and 20. Yes, they all share a factor of 2. So we're going to simplify by 2, which means x equals, divide by 2, so 3, plus or minus, divide by 2 is 1, so just radical 13, divide by 2, 4. Last one, we're going to add x squared. We're going to subtract 4. That becomes 3x squared plus 12x minus 4 equals 0. A is 3, B is 12, C is negative 4. Okay, negative 12 plus or minus the square root of 12 squared minus 4 times 3 times negative 4 over 2 times 3. All right, negative 12 plus or minus the square root of 144 plus, we've got 12 times 4, 48 over 6. This is a 48, by the way, because negative 12 times negative 4 is positive 48. So negative 12 plus or minus the square root, 144 plus 48. Okay, I'm doing it on a calculator. 144 plus 48 is 192 over 6. Square root of 192 simplified. All right, simplifying this, we know that the square root of 196 is 14, so it's going to be obviously less than that. Let's start. 192 divided by 4. No, it cannot be 4 because 48 has perfect square factors in it. Let's do 9. No. Let's do 16. No, because 12 has perfect square factors in it. Remember I told you want to start high? I'm not listening to my own advice here, which is why we're wasting time. I'm sorry. It's not 25. What about 36? No. 49? No. 64? Yes, 64 and 3. So square root 64, square root 3 equals 8 radical 3. Okay, this becomes negative 12 plus or minus this 8 radical 3 over 6. Now, remember our numbers. What do they all share? They all share 2, so we have to simplify by 2. So x equals, divide by 2, divide by 2, divide by 2, get your answer. So this becomes negative 6 plus or minus 4 radical 3 over 3. Notice how none of these numbers now share a factor. Again, just like number 9, yes, we can still divide these two. However, just keep it in a fraction. It's difficult to have something like this to see. So just keep it in a fraction and make sure you get your answer, right? That's it. The quadratic equation is not very scary. It's just you plugging in numbers and making sure you remember how to simplify radicals, all right? So guys, get a head start on your work for Thursday. Please do the rest of the numbers from the lesson, numbers 10 through 14. Make sure you do it. Next week will be a review and a quiz. And that's all we'll do next week is review and a quiz. Maybe, I don't know, maybe a lesson. You will be having a project for the end of the year. It's going to be to create a math meme. Notice I've posted 2 memes. Meme, hilarious, and meme. So I'm going to give you guys like a rubric real quick. It's not going to be real in depth, but I'll give you a rubric when that's going to be due. So start thinking about math memes, all right? Thanks for watching. Hopefully you learned something. Bye.